Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Heidi's Healthy Habits. I'm Dr. Heidi Albidi. I'm a naturopathic doctor. Today, we are going to be talking about the healing power of grounding. So, in my basic treatment guidelines that I have for all of my patients, grounding is one of those guidelines. You know, if you know me already, that I really love to give free information to people and give them ideas on how to heal their bodies naturally for free in the comfort of their own home, or in today's idea, outside in nature. So I always like to say that in our technology-driven world, we always need to come back to the earth. We need to have something substantial, even when everything is in a virtual place. We have to come back to the earth and have something substantial. And so today, when we talk about grounding, I'm going to talk all about why we need this substantial thing and how can we get it? What are we missing from not grounding all the time? And then how quickly can we get back to grounding? So let's jump in and get started. So first, of course, let's talk about what is grounding. So by definition, grounding or earthing, I might use them interchangeably, is when we are physically connected to the earth by walking barefoot on it or sitting on it or laying on natural substances that the earth created. So, what is happening with this? There is an electrical charge that everything puts off, and the earth happens to put off a negative electrical charge. But that's actually positive within our body. It's a positive health benefit, even though it's a negative electrical charge coming from ions and electrons. Today, in our modern world, we're blocking that charge from the earth. We have shoes on, we have tires on our vehicles, we have lots of insulation within our home, and so we're blocking that charge, and that's what is creating issues. Grounding is like the first ever medicine that we ever had. Grounding has been around longer than agriculture, longer than the modern world of the Industrial Revolution. It has been around longer than the wheel, longer than anything, because we have always been 100% connected to the earth until just maybe like 200 years ago. We've always been grounded. We in this modern society have taken us off of the ground and have ungrounded us. But that was not nature's doing. Nature has always made sure that we are completely grounded because of all the health benefits that you will see today when we are grounding. So, like I said, we've done this to ourselves. Our environment that we live in today produces a lot of these positive ions. So we're getting positive ion from Wi-Fi radiation, from pollution, from exhaust, from the electrical signals that are all around us, the Bluetooth, even everything that's making this video happen right now is creating a lot of these positive ions. These positive ions are causing inflammation in our cells. They are acting as free radicals that go around our system and cause inflammation. And inflammation is one of the biggest reasons that people come into my office today. So whether it's headaches or insomnia or anxiety or gut issues, lots of them are coming from inflammation, pain, arthritis. All of that is coming from inflammation. Some of the inflammation that they're getting is from these positive ions from our modern world around us. So we can look to the earth yet again for another healing modality to give us these negative ions in this ionic exchange. As we get the negative ions, the positive ions go out of the body and get taken away by the universe and by Earth and getting recycled again into those negative ions that we need. So there's lots of reasons that we want to be grounding. For one, it's a big disconnection, right? In the modern world, we are disconnected from the ground. We are disconnected from the earth, and we don't follow the rhythms of the month, the cycles of the year, the seasons that we're playing in, we want to be robots. And we want our society to be robots as well and perform like robots, meaning you show up at the same time, you do the same amount of work, you have the same positive ideas all the time. And we just do this day after day after day. And that's what we are creating in our society. These are the people that we want to put out through our society, is these robotic people that aren't connected to the planet and to the sun and the moon and the earth. The earth breathes just like we breathe. So it's important to recognize some of these benefits, some of these cycles that it has. When we spend most of our time indoors with synthetic material, we are actually blocking these negative ions that we get from the earth. Shoes are blocking it, buildings, the furniture, everything is acting as an insulator. So it's like we're insulated from this healing benefit that we have from the ground. So we need to restore this balance. And we need to get back to the earth and not be so separate from it. The earth is going to reconnect us to its vitality. We don't really have to do much other than just take our shoes off, right? When we were created or when we evolved throughout this planet, there was never an inside, right? There was always outside. So we were constantly being grounded. So we need to go a little bit farther back. If we can't always be on the ground, at least let's do some things that get us closer because these ions can be very harmful and cause a lot of this inflammation within us, which is causing chronic disease, which is heart disease and diabetes and the diseases of the modern world. We never had those type of problems before we had shoes and cars and things like that. We had different problems. So here are some of the health benefits of grounding. So the biggest thing that has been studied time and time again is that it reduces the inflammation. And it's reducing the inflammation by neutralizing these free radicals and reducing the oxidative stress on our body, which is going to also reduce chronic pain. Most people come to the doctor for pain. So if you are one of those people, start doing some of these grounding techniques we're going to talk about coming up. Grounding is also going to improve sleep. It gets back to the rhythm of the body. So we want to think about the way that the sun and the moon are interacting within our planet. When the sun wakes up in the morning, we should wake up in the morning. When the sun goes to sleep at night and the moon comes out, we should go to sleep at night. We should have that circadian rhythm. If you follow the earth and follow more grounding things, you can set yourself up within that circadian rhythm and get your body to flow better through everything that you're doing just by, coming outside and doing some grounding. It's also going to enhance your mood. There's been lots of studies that have also shown the correlation between connecting to the earth and lowering cortisol levels. Cortisol is the hormone that wakes us up and gets us going, but it's also the hormone that helps us run from a bear. And we don't need to be running from a bear 24/7. We need to be resting and digesting more often and getting rid of that excess cortisol so that we can, have our natural energy, but as well get to sleep at night and be calm and have a good sense of well-being. It's also going to boost the immune system. So it enhances our natural defense mechanisms and helps the immune system to work better, helps our neurology to work better, which also helps the immune system as well. So this was really cool, and I wanted to highlight some of the cardiovascular benefits of grounding. Heart disease has been the number one killer in our country for 100 years. For 100 years, we have not been able to figure out how do we get people to stop having heart attacks. What is happening that everyone is having heart attacks? Well, here's one theory. When we have a lot of positive ions, it's almost like we have like a clumping situation happening within our cells. And we're getting these clumps, which are blood clots, and these blood clots will go away from someplace in our body and go to our heart, and that causes a heart attack. If that blood clot goes to our brain, it causes a stroke. This is the number one killer in our country. So let's improve this. So one of the easiest ways that we can improve circulation is by improving blood cell charge. So every cell in our body has electrical conduction, and it's a charged particle. When we are grounded, we're bringing more electrons into our body. So we're bringing more of these negative ions into our body, which is going to charge our blood cells a lot faster. And so this charge is enhancing the electrical conduction within the cell. That is going to reduce clotting because these charges are repelling the cells away from each other. And so by getting these blood cells to go away from each other with the charge, think of like if you had a balloon and you rubbed it on your hair really, really hard, and then you pull it away, and it's like you have that static electricity, those charged particles. Well, that's what we're doing here. And so the blood is actually moving apart and reducing that clumping. So you get better circulation because you don't have all of these clumped blood cells on top of each other. They're moving apart. So you actually get a better blood flow. And so by having a better blood flow and more circulation, you're actually reducing the risks of having a heart attack or a stroke, which is the number one killer for 100 years in our country. So doing this very easy practice that I'm going to teach you about is going to help you be healthier and help you stop being that statistic for our society. So very cool how the earth and the magnetics are able to just repel these blood cells from each other and reduce clotting in that easy way. There's also some mental, emotional reasons that we'll want to ground. Grounding improves your mood. When was the last time any of you guys just went outside, right? Just going outside. It's like, yes, like we can take a deep breath. We can feel the Earth's radiation and the Earth's ions that are coming to us. And then imagine going into nature, not just walking outside of your door, but walking outside into the forest or into a green space or an open space. It just improves your mood. So we studied that. Studies are showing that cortisol levels are dropping in people that are grounding more often and have this grounding practice. It also is going to regulate the body's natural rhythms, like we talk about. And so that is going to promote focus. And we're going to have a better sense of calm and more sense of focus being alive. And we can, focus on what we need to do. It's also going to improve our emotional regulation. So we're not going to be as crazy. Cortisol can make us have these crazy mood swings. But by reducing that cortisol on a daily basis, it helps us be more grounded and we don't need to be taking medications and things to just regulate our mood. It also improves creativity. There's lots of poets and writers, artists who will go into nature to finish their book or to get the inspiration for the next thing that they're going to write. How much poetry is written about nature? So it really does stimulate your creativity, but also helps you with problem solving. Our frontal cortex is our problem solving part of our brain, and it will enhance frontal cortex circulation because of the way that it increases our circulation, reduces blood clots. And so we can actually think more, be smarter and brighter. We can tap in to this natural healing source that is all around us and enhance our brain in such profound ways. So, what are we going to do? How are we going to ground ourselves? Here are some natural, easy things that you can do on a daily basis to get yourself more grounded. So, the easiest one is to walk barefoot. We called it dew treading throughout history of grounding. It's called dew treading because it is best to get out first thing in the morning. If you can, and then you'll be on the dew, right? The dew of the night before. If we can get out first thing when the sun first comes up, or even if it's not the first time the sun is coming up, but it's the first time we're seeing the sun for that day, get outside. And this is also going to help with that circadian rhythm. So you do want to take your shoes off and put your bare feet directly on the earth. Whatever earth is right in front of your house or your apartment complex. You can do it on grass or sand or soil, or if you have a rock that you can find, or even cement. Because cement is made out of sand, it does have a good healing power. We just have to worry about what is underneath of the cement. Are there lots of power cords running under there? Is it the sewer under there? What is it that's underneath of that that we can get grounded to? You can also take your meditation outside or your exercise practice, your yoga practice. Take that out and do it on the ground. Depending on what your yoga mat is made out of, you might just want to not use the yoga mat and just have a blanket or a towel that you put on the ground. And that can be where you do your practice because we don't want to block that ion exchange with anything rubber. So double check what your yoga mat is manufactured with. But bring your meditation outside. So much easier to connect with your breath, connect with yourself when you're in a very beautiful, calming place like outdoors. My favorite way to ground is through gardening. Gardening has this amazing connection with the earth's energy because you're in it with the plants. You are touching the plants, you're touching the earth. And if you want a little bonus of this, just take off your gloves, take off your shoes, and actually get grounded with the dirt that you're using to work with the plants that you're gardening to have either beautiful flowers that you get to see or amazing food that you get to eat and let that nourish your body as well. Another amazing way that you can ground is through swimming. So find a natural swimming hole that you can use, any natural body of water. So a lake, a river, even just a stream that you can put your feet into. Now you'll get hydrotherapy and grounding together. But if you have a natural pond or something that you can swim in, what an amazing benefit that you'll be doing for your body, your cardiovascular, your vital force, healing with the grounding as well as hydrotherapy. It's like a super bonus for you. Now, sometimes we can't get outside and we have to do this inside. So, here are some of the indoor ways that we can help with grounding. So, you can have a grounding mat. I always like to say you can fake it, right? All the recommendations that I give, though, there are ways to do it for free outside daily, but you can also fake it. Some ways that you can fake it is using a grounding mat or grounding sheets. So, these are actually, even grounding rods are actually going to plug in to the ground within your house. All of our houses have to be grounded. So we have this conductive material within all of our electrical outlets, and then that actually goes into a rod and then into your ground. So your whole house is being grounded. So if we can plug these mats or plug these sheets into the ground, you can stay grounded while you work throughout the day or while you sleep at night. Usually my recommendation for grounding outdoors is at least 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. But if you can ground on a mat all night, all day while you work, or ground on sheets all night while you sleep, you're getting that extra bonus. Now, there's also grounding bracelets that you can get. Some of these are made with conductive materials, but you can also get grounding bracelets or necklaces, jewelry that are made with grounded stones. So, a lot of the dark stones, like the hematite, is what is the grounded stone or the onyx. Those are very grounding as well. They come from the earth, and if you can put them on your body, they will ground you as well. So I just recently got some grounding stone bracelets just to help me while I'm working and just, really feel calmer and more grounded in that way. So, houseplants is another amazing way that we can stay grounded throughout our day. Houseplants are great because they're in your house all the time. If you could see my office right now, I'm surrounded by houseplants. If you go in my house, all of my rooms have houseplants in them because not only are they cycling the air, right? We know about photosynthesis and how the plants are going to take in our CO2 that we breathe out, and they are going to breathe out oxygen that we breathe in. So they are this perfect dynamic system that we have on our planet, but we can also have them indoors. If you don't have your windows open all the time, getting in fresh oxygen, you can have the house plants creating the fresh oxygen. Well, guess what else they're creating? They're creating the negative ions that we've been talking about this whole time that the earth puts off. So we don't have to necessarily go outside and hug a big tree or sit on a rock. We can just have these plants in our house that are creating these negative ions for us as well and help to get grounded that way also. So a little trick, like I said, we can always fake it. If we can't get outside, we can do that inside. What about kids? So, just like all of these habits, these healthy habits that we're teaching you, we want to teach kids young because if they can do this stuff when they're young, they will do it their whole entire life, right? And they'll be healthy throughout life. So, some things that you don't see kids doing today is getting outside, getting their hands dirty, whether it be in soil or a sandbox, but let them touch the dirt, let them get dirty, take their shoes off. If you are comfortable with where they're playing at, whether it's grass or in their front yard or their backyard, let them be with their shoes off for a little bit of time because it will help them get grounded. Now, you can buy shoes for kids or for yourself that are grounded. They just aren't made with a rubber sole, or sometimes they'll have a little piece of metal in them that goes all the way through the shoe. And so you do feel the grounding from the bottom of your foot, even when you have a shoe on. So those are options for kids too. But look at these kids playing barefoot, just having so much fun. Children are so much more susceptible to these positive ions that we're getting from our modern world. And, kids these days just fall in love with their screens. So if we can get them away from their screens, back outside, get them back to nature, we're going to see some of the chronic disease that we've seen in this generation of children, we can see that go away if we can get our kids grounded outside and get them back to nature. Let's enhance your day. So, how can we on a daily basis get grounded? So, morning routine. I think this is the best time to do it. And studies show that this is the best time to do your grounding because you're not only getting the benefits of the grounding, you're also getting your circadian rhythm to start to work because you are going out in the morning barefoot in the dew. Wherever it is that you live, you don't have to take this long walk. You don't have to be by a beach. You can just ground right in your front yard. And then gardening, right? Removing your gloves, removing your boots when you're gardening so that you can actually touch the earth, touch the ground. And even if you're not gardening in a ground, if you're just making your house plants, be in a better pot, that's grounding too, right? Touching that soil. So I encourage you to take off your gloves when that's happening. Do your work outside, okay? If you get a coffee break, take that outside. Sit on a rock that's by your office. Or maybe you just have to finish up some work. Bring your computer outside. Do your things outside, including exercise. Try to exercise outside. There's even a term for it. It's called green exercise, where you can just run outdoors, right? Or if you have a treadmill and you can watch something, watch nature while you're on your treadmill or on your stationary bike. They have done lots of studies that have taken people into groups where they'll have one on a treadmill just watching a sitcom, and then they'll have one on a treadmill, almost like they're running through the forest. And the people who do the forest exercise and just watch, run through a forest while they're on their exercise bike or treadmill actually have better outcomes. Their stress levels are lower, their cortisol is lower, feel happier after their run. Other thing that they have studied very well is, back before COVID, when we had cubicles in a big, warehouse type place, office space, they would take half of the office space with cubicles and have them look at a cityscape. That was just the picture that was in their office. And then the other half would look at nature, whether it be trees in a forest or a mountain or a meadow. And the half that would look at the naturescape and look at the meadow had better outcomes. Their anxiety levels went down, their depression improved, they were more productive, they had more energy, less fatigue. So biologically, we are wired to be outside. We are wired to be grounded all the time. Animals are grounded 24/7, right? Bunnies and chipmunks and deer, they're always grounded. And they don't have the kind of issues that humans have, right? They don't have the health issues, the mental health problems, the obesity. So maybe there's something to that. They also don't have the processed food and the TV, and so it's all together. But that's why we have this whole group of videos that you're watching to really get yourself back to nature. This is just one of the ways that we can help ourselves be healthier and be better. So we want to get a grounding routine, right? Grounding one time is great. You'll notice it when you start right away. But the benefits that I'm talking about, the cardiovascular health, the circulation improvement, the mood and the spiritual practice, this happens over time. So, over time, we have seasons. So, there are things that we can do throughout the season to make it more enjoyable. So, you can have a daily practice outside in the summertime when you can go there and do your yoga and do your meditation. But then sometimes we're going to need to just, find that tree that we can touch or find that rock that you can dedicate as your grounding rock. One thing that I'll have patients do is just go into their external environment, their outdoor environment, and like find their sitting space. Like, what's the space that you can know that you can come to at any season? Maybe you have to shovel a little bit of a trail to it sometimes. Make it simple for yourself that you can keep coming back to it time after time. So embrace Earth's energy. It is abundant. It is free. It was given to you when you were born onto this planet. So please embrace it. It is going to restore you and heal you, reduce your stress. Let the earth be that support. In this fast-paced, modern digital world where we're all virtual and I can't even see you because you can see me because I pre-recorded this at home virtually, right? In this world that we live in, I encourage you to get back to nature, get back to the earth, touch the earth, get the negative ions from the earth, release the positive ions from yourself, reduce your stress, and feel better. If you have any kind of ailment, inflammation, pain, digestive trouble, fatigue, headaches, you are going to benefit from earthing. It is free, it is accessible all the time, no matter where you're at. This can be a consistent healing habit that you can do and the power of your own home or when you're on vacation, anytime. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm Dr. Heidi Albidi. I'm a naturopathic doctor and I practice in the forest. But with this virtual technology, I can see you in the comfort of your home as well. So if you think that you would benefit from seeing a naturopathic doctor and from getting a more natural look on your health and finding some more easy ways and simple ways that you can feel better, you should reach out. I am also available on YouTube, Dr. Heidi's Healthy Habits, and you can see more awesome videos like this. Enjoy.